Hello!
Hello!
We're back!
Yay! It is a very busy day we had today. Or I had. Lots of study. Lots of brains.
I wasn't exactly busy, I was just not doing too great. That's
No.
good.
That's okay. What are you on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So last time we were trying to do Kanos stuff.
Yeah, we got out of the bad end to get into a new bad end.
Yeah.
So there was that.
So this time we can probably finish Kanos.
Yeah, I would think so.
And then continue on Osawas. Maybe finish it.
We also still have Minorikawa.
We still have been recall, yeah.
So yeah.
So, we'll see how memory cover plays into the rest of this.
Well, he's a journalist. I'm sure he's gonna catch wind like he's already done a bit with the bribery there.
Yeah.
Which is clearly Tatano and Mr. Caravan there.
Caravan.
Al-Caravan.
Al-Caravan!
I'm sure he's gonna get fucking involved somehow. But yeah, we're finally getting into the meat of some things. Like what they want is actually the virus. Well, in this case, the antiviral.
Yeah. The
That's why
antivirus.
Sure. Sure thing. Well, that's the case. That's why they've been after Hitobi all this time. Basically.
Yeah.
So.
Apparently she has it.
On her person somewhere. I wonder if it does.
Yeah.
Oh well. Let's hop right into it.
Maybe Maria has it. Is that necklace?
I don't know. Hitobi is supposed to have it.
Yeah, but I don't really see where she would have it.
It's my pockets. You know.
No. That'd be wrong. That'd be weird.
We'll figure it out. Okay? We'll figure it out. So where are we on the center? We got a bad end.
Yeah.
Because Maria made a wrong choice in the start of this. You gotta go with the Maria then? And all the way out to the top. There you go. Clearly leaving it to him was a bad idea.
I feel a little guilty about having him go out of his way for me more than he has already. Maybe I should deal with it myself. He looks a bit disappointed when I tell him that. I'll buy the necklace for 30,000 yen.
Numbers, how do they work?
And leave the knick-knack shop hauling the costume with me. But as I walk along, I start regretting my decision. I can't find a good place to throw the cat outfit away. Finally, I spot a convenience store that looks like it'll do just fine. One of the employees out front is out front cleaning out the trash. Several large garbage bags and bags line the side of the road. Perfect! Maybe I can have him toss out the costume along with everything else. Excuse me, so I've got this old cat suit here. I figure it can't hurt to ask. Yeah, I know. The shop boy takes the costume from me.
Haku Kato. 22-year-old getting by on part-time employment. Recently, after a number of employees quit in rapid succession, the owner hurriedly took on several new hires. But for some reason, instead of everyone chipping in on the cleaning, Okato always winds up stuck doing it.
Oh.
Yeah. I can see that on his name. It's Okato. Poor boy.
You're here to throw this thing out. I got it. He sounds wholly unsurprised. He accepts it so blithely?
Blithely, I think.
Blithely that I actually feel bad. It's been like this all morning, he says. I don't even care anymore. Just throw away what you need and be on your way, I guess. It's been like, what, all morning? I'm out here cleaning and people keep dumping trash at me. First it was a couple that just threw a garbage bag at me.
At the end, the two have just run into a girl called Kanan.
After that, some homeless looking guy came by, took all his clothes off and left.
Detective Yuji Satayama from the Shibuya precinct. The moment Satayama is searching for a costume for his next disguise. Well, it ain't gonna be the cat. Not this time.
Like just now, some chubby girl tossed out some empty cardboard boxes and a bunch of empty bottles. Well, it must have been shitty. She was probably drinking the burning hammer while she walked along. So when you came by just now with this thing, I knew right away. Yep, this again. I'm sorry. It's alright. 3 times, 4 times, what's the difference? He flashes a bright smile, but it's clearly insincere. Then he looks at me more closely. Huh? Aren't you the girlfriend of that dude who threw the bag of garbage at me? What? No, not me. Huh. Guess I'm misremembering then.
God damn it, not again! The old switcheroo at it again.
Well, anyway, thanks for your help with this. I give the guy a bow. A few minutes later, near the station, I spot a sort of mall. Checking the directory by the entrance, I see that it's got several clothing shops and an arcade inside. They probably sell shirts in there. I hurry on inside. Save point?
I think it's fine though. Try and go out. There you go. There you go! This time we'll get him.
Then he just finds another ridiculous costume.
Well, at least this one isn't going to send us to another dimension.
Yeah.
It's him! It's the caravan guy!
But he's not in a caravan though.
No, that's true.
It appeared that their quarry was simply walking around town, calm and composed. Kana radioed in Al Caravan's location to Kusei. All units intercept the suspect on the double, Kusei ordered. Kana will provide guidance using the surveillance monitors. They saw Caravan stop in front of a cigarette vending machine. Was he waiting for someone? Sasayama reporting in. I've got eyes on the mark. Kano's partner had evidently been nearby. Making the arrest, he said. There was a note of courage in Sasayama's voice. He came into view on the monitor, walking casually. Well, it's at least better.
Yeah!
At some point, he ditched the anime nerd costume for a street dancer's getup.
Dance to that hip hop, man!
It didn't appear that El Caravan had noticed him yet. Bit by bit, Sasayama closed the distance. Not much further now. Kano's hand balled into a fist as he watched, and then something unexpected happened. Another man came running into view, right in the middle of the monitor.
A man! Hiro Toyama! While searching for Hana at Shibuya Gigo, he was located by a duo of debt collectors and a telepathy. Hana left Gigo to find him and ran into him here in Maruyama-cho. The pair are heading toward Koen-dori, trying to find a place to hide. Koen-dori? What is this? Park Street? That's what it says! Koen means park!
There was no sound, but they could see that the newcomer was shouting something. As Al Caravan turned to look at the man, Sasayama launched himself like a bullet from a gun. In an instant, Detective and Perp were locked in a violent scuffle right there on the street. Kano swallowed a lump in his throat as he watched the struggle unfold. Earlier in the day, Al Caravan had done a number on Sasayama, but this time the detective had the upper hand. He got a grip on Al Caravan's neck and kneed him repeatedly. Al Caravan tried desperately to bring Sasayama to the ground, but Sasayama braced himself and avoided the takedown. Then he shifted his stance and took Al Caravan to the pavement with a spectacular hip throw. Yes! Kano clapped his hands together in excitement. Catching the perp in a scarf hold, Sasayama got out his handcuffs.
Scarf hold! A technique in judo, that's what I said. He's doing judo because he's down on the floor. It's pretty easy to recognize. It involves wrapping an arm around the opponent's neck while performing another bobby pin.
Bobby pin?
I'm pretty sure I was trying to say body, but my lips might have been weird.
Yeah.
My coordination's a bit off today.
I can tell. You even had trouble with the Japanese names.
That was just because... Why is it the words that fuck up? It's not my big brain that's the problem, it's my small brain that's the problem. That has nothing to do with language. It's because I didn't read the entire word.
I suppose.
It's mostly my arms that are affected by this.
Yeah. Stanley, you should head to the scene, Kano said. He looked away from the monitor for a mere moment, and when he looked back, Sasayama had released his hold and crumpled to the ground. What? Panicked, Kano stared at the image of his friend.
Oh god, he was stabbed!
There was something jutting from Sasayama's abdomen. Zoom in, Kano cried frantically. The camera closed in on Sasayama. Now Kano could see exactly what he feared. Sasayama had been stabbed in the gut, blood pooled on the pavement around him. Kano screamed, "Sasayama!" The camera showed several other detectives arriving at the scene, capturing El Caravan before he could escape. But Sasayama lay motionless. The pool of blood around him spread further and further across the pavement. Unable to look any longer, Kano rushed from the surveillance room.
Oh, this could both be good or bad.
Okay.
Well, it's the right thing that happened, so this is just set in stone, eh?
Yeah.
Getting stabbed in the abdomen is not a good thing.
No.
Not because it's a stab wound, but because it's in the abdomen.
So many things in the abdomen.
No, there's a lot of arteries in the abdomen.
That too.
Where he got stabbed is his bowels.
Mm.
Sure, perforated bowel, not good, but multiple perforated arteries?
Mm.
That's bad!
Yeah.
Especially in the abdomen, so it's actually not that great. Well, yeah, we should be able to finish Usawa as well.
Yeah.
So let's see. We'll go down to the detective.
What?
Usawa would be well dude. I would be too.
I'm the one asking the questions here, Mr. Ozawa. Did you give the antiviral drug to your daughter, Hitsumi? I'm not sure I understand the question. I know what the syndicate is really after, Mr. Ozawa. Ozawa's mind went blank when he heard what Kano said next. He could give no reply. Mr. Ozawa? The detective continued after a moment. Is everything alright?
Boop.
Without really thinking, Ozawa hung up. Ozawa staggered out of the living room. He needed to be alone. To his surprise, Kajiwara didn't try to stop him. Shutting his study door behind him, he dropped onto a sofa, then grabbed three times his normal doses of stomach pills. There was no water in the room, so he had to swallow them dry. Detective Kano's words echoed in his mind. I know what the syndicate is really after, was Mr. Ozawa. It's Hitsumi. There was only one reason they could be after Hitsumi. He broke out in a cold sweat as he began to understand what this kidnapping was really about. It had all started 6 days earlier. It was April 22nd. Ozawa had just returned from the United States the day before. He was in the midst of routine work at the General Research Lab when his cell phone rang. The LCD display showed an unlisted call. With some hesitation, Ozawa picked up. Hello? Is this Kenji Ozawa? The caller was using a voice modulator.
A voice modulator?
Is this Kenji Ozawa?
I suppose that's good enough. A type of device software used to make one's voice sound different. Changing a voice to the point of making a voice print or tone analysis impossible presents a major challenge. To be able to do so in real time requires major financial and technological resources, like planning it in a phone.
Also raised an eyebrow. Yes?
Go and analyze Nezumi's blood.
Her blood?
If we don't, he's going to die.
With that, the caller hung up. There was an intensity behind this that made Ozawa sure it wasn't just some prank call. He had Hitsumi come into the lab ASAP. He told Hitsumi he wanted a sample of her blood for an experiment. He agreed, suspecting nothing.
Ooh.
He placed some of the blood he'd drawn onto the glass side, then added some fluorescent,
Fluorescent, yeah.
Fluorescent. Ah. So that's how it's spelled. I suppose. Fluorescent!
Fluorescent! A yellow-green liquid, a type of fluorescent dye, chiefly used in preparing specimens for viewing under a fluorescent microscope. But it has other uses as well, such as a diagnostic reagent administered in eye exams. Yeah, that's weird, I tried that. Its high volume use is on St. Patrick's Day, when massive amounts of fluorescent are used to dye the Chicago River green. There you go.
A type of fluorescent dye.
Fluorescent dye, a type of dye that causes a dyed substance to emit higher wavelength fluorescent light when illuminated with a certain other type of light. Such dyes can reveal fine details when used on specimens viewing through a fluorescent microscope. Which is most likely what he's doing. Yeah, Apollo Greece. Pit.
Placing this slide under a fluorescence microscope, he took a look. It can't be. Ozawa could hardly believe his eyes.
Blood cells!
Wriggling under the microscope was a Grim Reaper's sickle itself. There was no mistaking it. Kizumi was infected with the UA virus. Trembling, Ozawa hurried to his computer. He opened the UA virus folder on his monitor. Within the images showing the stages of the virus propagation, he double-clicked them to magnify the first image. So it's akin to the Ebola virus? Considering its shape?
Bit akin to that, but these look more like sickles than spirals.
Oh yeah, but it was just more like, it's worm-like.
Yeah, that is very much like the Ebola.
The Reaper's sickles were interlocked with one another. He clicked on the next image. After further propagation, the UA virus looked less like a sickle, more like sort of insectoid larva. Next was the final image.
Blue.
Interlocked into a single mass, the UA virus vaguely resembled a sinister many-petaled sunflower. It took a mere 12 hours for the pathogen to develop to this point and begin its hideous destruction of the human body. Kitsumi's infection sample was still in the state shown in the first image. There was still a chance to save her. Ozawa was slumped back in his chair, huddling himself. He had no choice. There was only one way to save Kitsumi. He would have to administer the nearly completed antiviral. Using the antiviral without official approval was a previous violation to company policy. That was not the button.
What of company policy? Acting against company rules and regulations. Okoshi Pharmaceutical prohibits leaking work-related information to outsiders. In the case of a major violation, not only can the violator be fired, but the company may also seek indemnities.
Money?
Usually.
Still, Ozawa didn't have time to get the higher-ups to approve a clinical trial. He might be punished severely for it, but this was his only option. His daughter's life was at stake. At stake.
Yes, at stake. We know how to words, I promise.
Where are my glasses?
I don't know what your glasses are.
They're probably out on the shoe rack.
You want me to find them?
Yes, please.
Alright.
I think I need them.
Just continue on going then.
There was also another, even bigger hurdle on his way. The antiviral drug was stored in the deepest recesses of the biochemical research building.
The deepest recesses. Of course it is. You get it? Nice.
Didn't want to go behind the ear.
Can you see now?
My eyes are more relaxed, yes.
Yes. Oh, Jesus.
A high intensity X-ray scanner was set up at the entrance to the storage area. This made it impossible for him to take research materials out.
X-ray! A type of radiation, also referred to as Röntgen rays.
Yeah.
With a shorter wavelength than UV light, but a longer wavelength than gamma rays. Because X-rays can penetrate many objects with little absorption or scattering, they can be used to create images of internal structure. Hospitals, for example, use X-ray technology to examine the insides of patients' bodies, while security personnel use it to scan luggage at airports to search for bombs.
Bombs?
Plan B. Plan B. But yes, they do use it, but sometimes X-rays aren't enough because it doesn't. You can see all the way through the body.
Yeah.
So sometimes they're like, alright, you need to get a CT or an MRI because that one actually cuts the picture.
Mm.
I can see a bit more. At least it's a bit easy to see. Sometimes X-rays fucking suck looking at. I'm telling you.
Well, if you're gonna get the antiviral out of there, you just have to bring Hitsu in.
I guess that's the way to do it.
A course of action quickly took shape in his mind. First, he'd need to slip out of the General Research Building. He would then head to Biochemical Research Facility and show his ID card to the guard at the front gate.
ID card! Identification card. Many facilities that carry out highly classified research assign different levels of security clearance to individual researchers. And only those with suitable clearance, as indicated by their ID cards, are admitted to restricted areas. Development of more advanced technologies such as electronic ID tags are replacing older barcode type entry cards.
Yes.
That is correct.
We
Right,
have
you'll
those at
have
the
to go get
hospital.
my card. I haven't gotten it yet, because I haven't really been at the hospital since I started the semester.
Ah.
Yeah, reading bottles! Yeah, my laptop fucking shat itself when I had to watch this.
After passing through a lobby under the watchful gaze of several security cameras, he reached an elevator at the end of the hall that went directly to the storage section. This elevator required an ID card scan to operate.
Woo! Woo! Down we go!
Boop, boop.
Yeah! I had the exact same thought. It's like fucking Virtue's Last Reborn again.
It would take about 20 seconds to get down to the first basement level and arrive at the entrance to the storage area. Finding an excuse to get Hitsu that far ought to be doable. If the security guard got suspicious, Osawa could say it was for a top-secret hematology experiment and the guard would probably believe him. The problem was what came after.
Into the elevator again. Woo! That's
Getting
a lot
into
of
the
tech.
storage area itself required fingerprint authentication from both Osawa and Tanaka. This meant that he couldn't possibly get the antiviral without Tanaka's cooperation. Cooperation!
Cooperation. I'm sure Tanaka's gonna say yes.
Jolly cooperation.
No, this is not a jolly cooperation. Alright? Now. Now.
Desperate with uncertainty, Osawa called up Tanaka. Sure, it's ringing a long time. Is he
What?
never picking up?
God damn it, Tanaka! Pick up!
He frantically explained the situation. Understood, Tanaka replied. We need to get this drug as soon as possible. If the company finds out about this, you'll be held accountable for violation of corporate policy along with me. Are you sure you're going okay with that? What are you talking about? Hitsu's life is more important than the company policy. Tanaka spoke without hesitation. Also, I felt an immense surge of gratitude for his assistant.
Little did he know. This is going just according to Keika.
I
I'm
have
sure
to
Tanaka
say-
planned this.
I'm deeply moved by your determination, Tanaka added. Moved? Whatever for. You really are worried about Osawa's gratitude faded. What are you talking about? Of course I am. My apologies. It's just that putting your career in the line for something so personal as does not like me? No, well, yes. I'm sorry. Now Tanaka's voice was colored with embarrassment. Just what sort of person do you think I am? Also, what resisted the urge to ask the question out loud. A short time later, Ozawa and Tanaka stood before the door to the secure storage area. The security guard had let them in without the slightest suspicion. Ozawa pressed his index finger to the fingerprint scanner first. Accepted. He realized he'd been holding his breath as his authorization finally went through. Half a moment later, Tanaka touched his own finger to the scanner plate. Accepted.
Restricted area! Authorized personnel only beyond this point.
The lock released with an audible clang and the heavy door opened. Ozawa hurried to retrieve the antiviral as he picked up a small vial. He had some realization. They were finally going to use the drug in a human test. His fatherly wish to cure Hitomi was overlaid by an intense rush of curiosity. The researchers strived to discover his results. Hurry! I need to hurry. I need to administer the antiviral as soon as possible. Ozawa could hardly fend off his excitement. Over the course of the next few hours following the injection, the UA virus would be eradicated from Hitomi's body. There had been some fever and cramping as temporary side effects, but the DDS had done a spectacular job of stomping out the virus.
DDS, Drug Delivery System, also known as a Smart Drug Delivery. The ability to target a specific region of the body with a specific drug has momentous implications for the future of medicine. DDS technology is currently being tested extensively around the world. Yeah, I know. It's also called targeted. That's what we call it in Denmark. The English word that is. We still use targeted for some reason.
Yeah.
That word itself is some name.
Well, we have a tendency to borrow.
Yeah, we do.
In saving his daughter's life, Ozawa had proven the value of his research. If he had been asked which made him happier, he would have been hard-pressed to give an answer. Afterwards, he asked Hitomi where she could have become infected, but she had no idea. He explained the need for secrecy and strictly forbade her telling anyone else what had happened. Now a week had passed since Ozawa gave the drugs to Hitomi. He'd been conducting checks and had discovered that the DDS had not broken down but remained in Hitomi's bloodstream. Extracting the DDS was a simple matter, requiring just a small blood sample from around the nape of the neck.
Nape of the neck! The DDS tends to linger in the nape of the neck because of the lymph nodes located there. The lymph nodes identify viruses that invade the body as foreign substances to be attacked, but they're not always able to overcome particularly powerful pathogens. In such cases, the virus propagates rapidly inside one another. Once the patient has been treated, the antiviral will seek out the virus and accumulate there and move out. Yes, that is very true.
The DDS itself was simply the delivery system for the antiviral drug. A residual amount of the antiviral itself stayed behind within the cells.
Residual. The materials used to create the DDS must, as a matter of course, cause minimal or no harm to the human body. Ideally, rather than accumulate inside the body, DDS substances should be either digested and absorbed or excreted. Because the antiviral must remain in the body for as long as the virus is active, however, a very careful balance must be struck between persistence and dissipation. Also true.
Using the DDS, it was possible to extract those minuscule amounts of cells in a bloodstream. It might take considerable time, but a sufficient detailed analysis could allow for the antiviral drug itself to be reconstructed. Ozawa felt a chill as he contemplated the situation. The kidnappers had known how tough security was at the lab, so they'd come up with the idea of using a human vessel to get what they needed from within. By infecting Hitomi with the UA virus, they'd ensured that she'd received the antiviral, that she'd have it in her blood.
Instead, just got his cake.
If Tanaka was working with the kidnappers, that explained why he'd been so cooperative about the fingerprint scanner.
Oh god! Blue pills!
Damn it! Ozawa shouted. He clutched his head with his hands. Tanaka had been his partner and trusted confidant for years. Oswald refused to believe he'd been betrayed like this.
Come on, answer! Answer!
The front door chime sounded. Miss Oz. Oh boy.
Here we go.
Mr. Ozawa, Kajiwara called out. It appears you have a visitor.
Huh?
Could you handle that?
Who is that? Ah! It's Minori-kawa! Wow, look at that!
Who could it possibly be now of all times?
Go talk to him! Go talk to him!
Alright, with a sigh,
That's like Minori-kawa's gonna say. Take no for an answer though.
Ozawa dragged himself to his feet.
Hello there! That's a lot of detectives.
He stumbled warily back to the living room where the investigators were staring at the intercom monitor with concern. The intercom's hidden camera showed a man with an unsettling grin posed intimidatingly outside the front gate.
Of course he is.
Ozawa didn't recognize him. Yes? Who is this? He asked guardedly through the intercom. It's Minori-kawa. Where might I know you from, Mr. Minori-kawa? Oh, you know, here and there. I mean, there's only one Minori-kawa, really. Are you playing games with me?
That's such a Minori-kawa thing to say.
I don't have the time for that. Please just open up. There's no way I'm letting you in, was what said. But the nonsensical badgering continued. Look, just hold your horses. I'm here for an interview. You got that? An interview? That's right. It's a piece for 4-Star General Gossip. The name of the magazine brought up an unpleasant memory. That was the gossip rag that had run the article about his political marriage. Wait. Is this for one of those kinds of articles? What do you mean? Those kinds of articles? I'm just looking for an interview. The man's tone was both high-handed and belligerent. Like hell you are. I'm not talking to anyone from the gossip. You're not the one I'm here to talk to. I want to interview your twin daughter.
Oh yeah, right, because they won the beauty contest, didn't they?
My daughters? I understand they won a shared prize for a beauty contest at Mirayama Academy. If you wouldn't mind my interviewing them,
Fuck off!
Furious Ozawa caught off the intercom. This was no time to be indulging someone else's nonsense. Hey, what gives? The man was shouting so loud his voice carried past the gate and through the front door. I'm begging you out here. On my hands and knees.
It's not on his hands and knees!
He wasn't actually on his hands and knees. Ozawa could see that clearly through the intercom monitor. If your daughters aren't home, can you at least tell me? Tell them I want to get in touch with them. Mr. Ozawa, Kajiwara said, frowning. This isn't a good time to have someone drawing attention to your home. All right, I'll get rid of him.
Hey yo!
Ozawa hurried out of the house, confronting Minori-kawa through the front gate. The journalist had that tenacious look that immediately marked him as a member of the media. Give me your business card, Ozawa said. I'll have them get in touch with you later. He took Minori-kawa's card, then went right back inside.
Yeah, out.
Back in his study, Ozawa tossed Mirakawa's business card into the trash. Unable to think of what else to do, he tried the internet fortune teller again. He got the same, "You're a very work-minded person," result a second time. If you don't get over your indifference to the world might start to harbor quite a grudge. My indifference to the world around me? The truth was that even with his closest companions, even with Tanaka, for instance, his relationship had always been strictly a matter of business. He'd never really taken it upon himself to get to know Tanaka as a person, and that was pretty much the case for everyone he knew. He harbored no interest in other people. He had no concern for his fellow man. That had made itself abundantly clear when he received a microscope as a birthday present way back in his first grade. Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
Even now, he still remembered the shock he'd felt when he looked through that lens for the first time. He discovered a new, almost infinite world hidden in the midst of one he'd always thought was too small. By comparison, the real world seemed bland and ugly. Wherever he looked, wherever he went, he had to contend with tedium. It hadn't taken long for him to become more charmed by the world under his microscope than the one around him. Does that sound familiar?
I don't know what you're talking about! It's not like I want to be a pathologist or anything. Just look through microscopes all day. No! Nope! Hey, at least I'm not gonna be stressed about my job.
Yeah. It was like a calm, quiet little seaside. A beach where he could just sit and stare out of the waves. He wanted to stay immersed in that world forever and ever.
Same, dude, same.
Before he knew it, he was an adult, and then a husband, and then a father. The people around him thought him an odd fellow, but he hadn't let that change the way he lived his life. And this, now, was the result. He hadn't been betrayed by Tanaka. He didn't know Tanaka well enough for that.
Yeah.
Find a way to connect more deeply with the people around you and start living a better life before it's too late. Just do that, and you're sure to have a wonderful future ahead. Ozawa picked up his cell phone and dialed Tanaka's number. I had tried calling him repeatedly and hadn't gotten through. It was doubtful that he'd pick up. Still, Ozawa had to try. The phone rang several times. He listened grimly to the empty mechanical sound, preparing himself for disappointment.
Hey, picked up!
What is it? Tanaka's voice sounded coldly in Ozawa's ear. The tension was electric.
Ha! Another keep out, bitch!
I don't think we have a jump to him.
No. Might be Minonikawa,
Probably.
since they just talked.
I suppose we go to Midorikawa.
No! What a way to go back!
Midorikawa's cry of despair echoed through the cafe.
Oh, yeah, right, his laptop went bonkers, that's right.
His laptop monitor stared back at him, black and empty. Don't you die on me, buddy! He jabbed his fingers sharply at the screen.
It's not gonna help.
But the computer gave no response, looking well and truly dead. What the hell? Murikawa pounded his fists on the table. This would be a worst case scenario even if he weren't desperately pressed for time. Guess I'll just have to write by hand. He rummaged around inside his bag and pulled out a notebook. I can still do this, he shouted, doing his best to psych himself up for the task ahead.
Ah, yes, the times before cloud storage.
I will still do this. Ah, excuse me, sir? The waitress appeared timidly beside him. What? Murikawa snapped, his pen still flying across the paper. Sir, if you could please quiet down? My damn computer just broke. I'm allowed to scream or two. Murikawa was in no state of mind to be quiet. If it weren't for the deadline he was racing to meet, he'd probably have gone on screaming until he passed out. Your computer is broken, you say? The waitress peered at the monitor. Yeah, look. It just suddenly stopped displaying anything.
Maybe it just ran out of power.
That's also what I'm thinking. Could it be that, the battery's just dead? Pulled upright.
I knew it. That's it!
The waitress flinched at Murikawa's finger jabbed toward her face. I hadn't considered that possibility. Hey, let me plug in somewhere.
Yeah, my mother's posting Himeji Council photos today. The second time.
There's an outlet right there, sir. She pointed at an outlet by Murikawa's feet, making no attempt to hide her inspiration. Murikawa plugged in the power cable and the monitor sprang to life as normal. So, now that it's sorted, would you please be quiet, sir? Don't talk to me. You're interfering with my writing. Murikawa's fingers had already begun dancing around across the keyboard. With a sigh, the waitress disappeared back into the kitchen. Oh yeah, now we're talking.
Oh yeah!
His fingers picked up speed as he went about touch typing.
Touch typing. The act of typing on a keyboard without looking at the keys. That's the 10-finger system. The aspiration of the computer now is everywhere. The typical method involves placing the index finger on the F and J keys. Like I said, 10-finger system. With the middle ring and pinky fingers resting on the A, S, and D, K, L, and semicolon keys to either side, from which all the other keys are easily read. Practice, touch typers can instinctively hit the correct key every time without looking. I trained that when I was younger.
Oh, I'm gonna be so fucked up. Oh no. If when we move to Japan, I still need to get this kind of keyboard. Because otherwise I'm gonna get fucked up trying to type on a keyboard that's not Nordic. Because it's missing some
Well,
keys.
you're working in a corporate.
Oh.
You don't have a choice, I'm sorry. You're gonna have to get used to a different keyboard.
I'm gonna get a quiet keyboard. And I'm gonna bring that with me everywhere.
You might still not be able to use that at your office. They might have strict things about that. But that's something you can negotiate with some private company.
Yeah. Oh, fuck me. I have used my whole life getting used to this keyboard. Can't get used to a new one. Well, I think we should take a small break.
Yeah.
So, everybody, get up, stretch, suckle your fluids, as in go to the toilet and get something to drink.
Very important.
Very important.
I study medicine.
Mucho importante, el spirito gigante.
I study medicine. I know how important it is. Go do it.
Yeah. We'll be right back. So, see you in a bit. And we're back.
Yeah. Sorry, it took a bit longer than normal.
With a controller that's not working.
Oh no!
Probably because I connected it and just try and give me the cable again. I wanted to use the other one to keep it on, but we'll see.
No, it's something to do with the game. Steam has to like recognize this as a control before the game works, sadly.
Yeah.
So we're sorry about that. Bulk.
Be right back. I just wanted to plug it in so it wouldn't turn off after a while. I usually do that where I plug it into the wall, but you were using it, so I was like, I'm gonna try and plug it into the computer. That clearly didn't work.
No, clearly not. Hey, it's working again. Cool. Alright, Mionikawa. Busted! You could just have, go back, go in there. They'll go to the last save point there.
Which is the
Ah,
beginning.
well, okay.
Well, let's get through this. Commercial break.
You know it.
Well, while we're here, the new iPhone. As they've talked about it earlier today.
Yeah.
Like about an hour ago or so, something like that. It's gonna have USB-C for its charging port.
Thank God.
Yeah, which is about time. But then again, they're gonna be forced to do it from spring next year, so might as well do it now.
Yeah. That's he says pointing once again.
So that's exciting, but it's not a flip phone. It doesn't have a bendy screen like some people expected. Which, on one hand, I'm glad. On the other hand, I was like, ah, that would have been cool to try, but oh well, that's just how it is.
Yeah.
Touch typing. Yes, we went through.
We went through that one already, so don't worry about it.
The pros and cons of surveillance cameras. Property of outdated electronic.
No. Proprietor.
Proprietor of outdated.
You didn't read the word.
Nope. I was like property.
Property. Yeah.
Proprietor of outdated electronic shop oversees high-tech camera system. Bedlam at bogus weight loss drink sales demo. Bankrupt organizer remains undiscouraged. Now Mirikawa's spirits were riding high. His writing rolled along at a brisk pace.
Nice.
Sir? It was the waitress again, her voice yanking Mirikawa right out of his soaring mood. Sir! Now what? Has the President of the United States agreed to give you a one-on-one interview? The waitress' eyes went wide with confusion.
Huh?
Because unless it's something that important, do not speak to me right now.
I'm in a mood.
But she was unsure. Sir, please, if you could just be a little quieter. Mirikawa's fingers ceased the rattling across the keys. Just what sound do you have a problem with? All I've been doing is writing a copy. Well, for the last while, actually, you've been talking while you write, sir. Talking? Mirikawa tilted his head in confusion. Yes, sir, you've been talking about an electronics store and some bogus weight loss spring. I assume that's what you're writing about. You're saying I've been narrating my copy aloud while writing it? That's right, sir. Other customers sitting nearby were openly snickering. Well, so what? He was red in the face now. You should all be delighted.
The fiance and the father-in-law still sitting over there waiting for him.
You should all be delighted that you get to hear what I'm writing before the magazine goes to print. Well, actually, sir, one of our customers has been complaining. Complaining? All of of all the nerve! Who was it? Where are they? Murakawa scanned the other patrons, many of whom were unsuccessfully trying to hide their laughter. It was me.
The father-in-law.
It was the grumpy older fellow who'd been making a scene earlier. Focused dice pads, peeping security cameras. Reminds me of what sleazy tabloid 4-star general I hate so much.
Oh-ho!
You sure seem to know a lot about it for something you hate so much. The man's face twisted up with scorn. Your behavior is bothering everyone in here, he said. Do you not understand that? No, I don't. Guess a reporter who writes nothing but nonsense prefers nonsense in everything he does. Murakawa could feel his blood boiling. What was that? Go on, say that again. Oh, gladly. Nonsense, filth. Cost swallowed.
Flim flam! You can't worry.
You bastard, how dare you! Murakawa stormed over to the man's table. Flim flam indeed.
Flim flam! Bogus or insincere content. Do you think anger Murakawa more than reporters using dishonest means to create a story? Having his own work called Flim Flam would naturally make him blow his top. How dare you! Murakawa only writes the truth. Guys.
Yeah.
Oh, poor costume
Just
man.
who are you calling Flim Flam? The other man stood up and glowered in Murakawa's face. You utterly lack any manners or sense of decency for starters. I have plenty of manners and decency. I also happen to have a deadline. But as if a Flim Flam artist like you has a work ethic. Stop calling me Flim Flam!
I love how it's
The
the word
waitress
Flim
inserted
Flam they're
herself
using.
herself between the two men. Gentlemen, please, stop fighting. I demand that you remove this man at once, the older fellow barked. He's the one you should be kicking out, Murakawa shot back. By now, he was ready to go for this guy's throat. Please, the waitress pleaded, both of you, return to your seats. She grabbed onto Murakawa and began to forcibly drag him back to his table. Oh, it's...
It's too late for that, man! You wanna punch him? Or do you just wanna, spoil your pride and continue your
We need to
work?
calm down, we need to continue. Okay,
Yeah.
just calm down. Murakawa did his best to swallow his pride. Whatever, yeah. I don't have time for this anyway. He stalked back to his seat. The other man snorted and sat down with a scowl.
Back to work!
No. I
You
want
wanna-
to see what happens.
You wanna see what happens?
I
Alright.
want to see what happens.
Oh, it's too late for that.
Oh, it's too late for that. Giving it into his anger, Murakawa threw a punch at the troublemaker. Gah! The man dodged limply. You're not bad. I'm sick done in judo.
Damn!
Ah, you should have mentioned that earlier. Murakawa hastily retreated. The other man snorted and sat down with a scowl. Okay, so no difference.
No, other than, a bit of bonding here and there.
Mm-hmm. The needless interruption just when he'd finally gotten into riding mode had all but killed Murakawa's motivation. He decided he needed to take a breather. He turned to the
He
waitress.
did not turn to the waitress.
One spaghetti Napolitan, please.
Spaghetti Napolitan. Spaghetti flavored with tomato ketchup. Napolitan is a corruption of Neapolitan, though the dish itself has no connection to the Italian city of Naples. Rather, it originated as a menu item at a hotel in Yokohama shortly after World War II. Hence, the spaghetti and only ketchup, basically. There is also a spaghetti dish from Nagoya called the Milanese, which likewise has no connection to the Italian city of Milan.
Spaghetti and ketchup.
That is a Napolitan, yeah. Basically.
Jesus fucking Christ. Get something proper to eat, you... Oh my god.
Yeah. It's usually for children.
Italians, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that they're dirtying your food.
Yeah, they are.
I'm sorry.
But it was World War II, Japan, so
Yeah.
it's more to do with the fact that they didn't have that many things.
It reminds
They
me
lost
of
the war, you know?
somebody who from England posted a picture of what they were eating, and it was like it was white bread with like brown beef sauce with boiled potatoes.
Mm.
And somebody was like, England is still eating as if the Germans are still flying over their country.
Have you ever come to Denmark?
Yeah.
We eat that traditionally all the time.
Mm.
Not that we do specifically, because I don't like that, but
No.
potatoes and brown meat sauce, that's a very Danish thing.
Mm.
Traditionally.
Yeah. It's easy for the children. Especially if you put ketchup on it.
Yeah.
So. Though I hate potatoes. I hate boiled potatoes.
No.
Especially if they're not boiled correctly.
True.
Which
I
often
like mashed
is the case.
potatoes, but normal boiled potatoes are not really my thing.
Mashed
either.
potatoes are what I preferred
Yeah.
as potatoes, except for fries. Obviously,
Yeah.
fries are better, but
Oven baked's also pretty good.
yeah.
But I'm also not the biggest fan of boiled potatoes. I'm not a biggest fan of boiled vegetables. Or root fruit, for that matter.
Mm.
In my opinion, they taste like nothing.
Yeah. And then most of the time they even cut them so all the good stuff gets out anyways.
Yeah. Which doesn't really matter when you're putting it in a stew,
No.
luckily. Like when I make Japanese curry.
Yeah.
But then the piece is also smaller, so it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alright.
He might not have a lot of spare time, but working on an empty stomach wouldn't do him any favors. While waiting for his order to come out, he decided to read back over the copy he'd written so far. That dish would take 5 minutes. That's it.
Yeah.
You need to boil the pasta, put ketchup on it.
Probably already
Done.
had some pre-boiled pasta.
Probably also have
The cafe.
yeah.
And I have seen some restaurants and cafes in Japan. They just have fucking stews ready and rice ready. That's why they have like restaurants and cafes in Japan are usually closed in the afternoon because they're preparing big portions of food for the evening, so it
Yeah.
goes faster.
They're preparing for dinner.
Yeah, exactly. So they're like close at like 3, and then you open up again at like 6, 7-ish.
Yeah.
My parents had to get used to that when we were down there.
Yeah.
Sometimes they wouldn't get hungry before it was like, oh shit, they're gonna close now.
Well, then you always have the convenience store.
Yeah. But my parents didn't really want to, eat that. They want to go in, sit down and eat. There are some cafes that are still open because
Yeah.
they just have stuff all the time. But
But the more traditional stuff is
yeah, real restaurant
yeah.
closes at like around 3. And some places they're only open like maybe twice a week.
What?
But
When he looked back at the monitor, the screen was black yet again. Looking down at his feet, he saw that the power cable was now unplugged. Hey, what kind of cafe are you people running here? He shouted. The waitress hurried over, looking combative. Sir, you yanked that out yourself when you stood up earlier. What? A likely story. It's the truth, sir. Undercover pointed at one of the customers sitting next to him. Is she telling the truth? Did I really yank my power cord out myself? The man nodded sheepishly.
yeah. Yes, you did.
Yeah, well then that's the outlet's fault for being someplace where it unplugs so easily. Murikawa squawked. The waitress marched away, head held high. Just make sure that spaghetti is delicious, Murikawa shouted after her. Do that and I'll consider us even. Oh, and loaded with cheese. Lots of cheese. He plugged the power cable back in, then let out a heavy sigh. In all his writing furore, he hadn't thought to save his work.
Aha! Save his work!
Yeah.
Always make sure to save your work to avoid losing data.
Yeah.
Honestly, why is it that your computer only seems to freeze when you've forgotten to save your stuff?
Yeah.
That is so true.
Yeah.
But it's most likely because that's the only time it's inconvenient to you.
He was probably going to have to rewrite most of what he'd done.
Let's hope we get into a mood again, eh?
Oh, right, it's those kind of laptops. They didn't have like,
No, it just turned off. That's how
Yeah.
old this is.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
It's from 2008, this game, I think. Around that age. So the laptops just turned off when there was no power.
Yeah.
They didn't like go to sleep when there was only a few percent left or anything like that.
Especially not the one he has, I would
No,
say.
no, that one looks really old.
Excuse me? Murikawa looked up to see a young woman standing there. I'm so sorry, she said, about my father. She gave a tiny bow. Your father? Oh, the rude old man? He's just a little worked up right now. Please don't pay him any mind. So, what? You waiting on your boyfriend? Huh?
Something like
The
that.
woman was taken aback. I happened to hear you two arguing earlier. You've been about 2 hours. Would have been about 2 hours ago. Oh, I see. An awkward, embarrassed smile came to the woman's face. I thought he was going to ask my father for permission to marry me, so we've been waiting for him, but he hasn't shown up? No, he must be really busy. She cast her eyes down sadly. Murikawa took a better look at her. She was gorgeous. A woman with her looks wasn't something he saw every day. That was for sure. Say, would you mind talking with me for a bit? He asked. Me? Yeah. I kinda need to turn my mood around here. Well, okay, at least until my father gets back. The woman cast an anxious look toward the restroom. What's your name? Rumi. She sat down across from him. Wait a second, aren't you? Murikawa appeared at Rumi's face. One of those twins that was chosen as Miss Murayama? Rumi shook her head. No, not me. No? Darn. Didn't think I'd be that lucky.
Well, he tried.
He took a sip of his now cold coffee. I do know the girls you're talking about, though, Rumi said.
That is perfect.
Murikawa spat out his coffee in surprise.
Thumbnail material right there, I tell ya.
Rumi squeaked in alarm at the spray splatter as the spray splattered her face. But Murikawa leaned in. You mean it? You really know them? Yes, Rumi replied. You're talking about the Osawa twins, right?
Yes. Yes, we are. What up?
I just didn't want to. Just didn't want to unlock.
Oh.
My Facebook too far away, apparently.
Oh no.
She got out a handkerchief and wiped the coffee from her face as she spoke. They're really tolerating a lot of shit from him. Jesus Christ.
From Murikawa?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mirikawa is the kind of person who is fun when you don't know him. And it's not involved with him. I love him as a character, but having that guy as like a friend, oh my god, I wouldn't know where to put him. He would be everywhere at once.
Mirikawa glanced down at the project proposal on the table. Sexy Squared. Twins share top prize at local university beauty contest. Miriyama Academy. Maria and Hizumi Osawa. Yes, that's it. The Osawa twins. I actually won Miss Miriyama myself a few years ago. This year I served as one of the judges. Mirikawa adopted a self-satisfied pose. Guess I really was born under the right sign to be a freelancer. The leads just come to me. Sure, Yumi muttered. Okay, let's talk basics then. Tell me what you know about these girls. Well, I don't really know them personally. Yumi continued to dab at the coffee on her face. But now that you ask, I do remember hearing that they entered the contest separately. Wait, separately? Now Mirikawa was a bit confused. Yes, that's right. I assumed they'd entered as a pair, but apparently not. I wonder why. I mean, they're twins. Don't they look alike? Wear the same clothes? Do everything together? And say the same things at the same time and stuff? Or chuckled and shook her head.
Creepy dude.
No, not at all. Besides, these two aren't identical. They're fraternal twins, she said.
Fraternal twins. Twins who were born at the same time from two eggs that were fertilized separately. It's a very important distinction there. Fraternal twins do not share the same genetic information. They can differ in such characteristics as sex and blood type, though there are cases of fraternal twins resembling one another almost as closely as identical twins, because they're still siblings. So they're gonna look like each other.
Yeah.
Maria and Hitomi Osawa happen to look very closely alike, but they do not have the same blood type.
Although at a glance, they do look very similar. Still, how should I put this? They both give off very different impressions.
You don't say.
Oh? Now that sounds interesting. Mind explaining that, what you mean? Mirikawa opened his memo pad. I talked to them briefly after the award ceremony. The older sister struck me as really energetic, but the younger one was more quiet and reserved. Mirikawa's investigative sense were tingling. I wouldn't figure a shy girl would want to enter a campus beauty contest. I suppose not, no. Yeah, I don't suppose you've got anything juicier? Mirikawa asked. Rumi frowned. Would you like to just go ask them yourself, she said. They don't live very far from here. Whoa, hold the phone! Mirikawa could hardly believe what had just fallen into his lap. The advance info in the project proposal had mentioned the girls' students were students at Miriyama but hadn't given an actual address. If he could talk to them directly now, that would be pay dirt. You know where they live? Well, not exactly. I just heard that they lived in Shoto. Ah, Shoto! That wasn't far away. A car or motorcycle could get there in about 10 minutes. It'd be quicker than going to Miriyama Academy, and he'd be able to meet with the girls themselves. Mirikawa flashed a quick look toward the restroom. It looked like Rumi's father had just gotten back. Sorry, she said. I should be going. No problem, and thank you. Rumi gave him a quick nod, then hurried back to her seat. I like that we still haven't been able to see Rumi's face.
No, except for the picture.
Except for the picture. So, all the shots has either been from behind, so we couldn't see her face, or when it was from the front, she was holding the handkerchief in front of her face. It's blurred out, yes.
No, I was reading the Japanese on the side.
Oh, that.
Uehara Eto. That's what it says.
Yeah. Yeah. I can see that.
Hmm? And it says something else on the other side. But I can't read it in the text. It says Eto. And it's not
Eto.
Oh, I can't. It's so small.
Yeah, I can't tell either.
What? I don't know. Can't read it. It's so small.
What is happening?
I don't know. What are you doing? What did you do?
Nothing. I think the controller lost connection for a second.
Oh no.
God damn it.
That's the problem with wireless controllers.
I mean, it's not like a high-end Bluetooth receiver. It's just a basic one.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't expect too much, but still, it sucks.
Yeah, it happens. Oh well.
Hopefully we're not too far from where we left off.
No. I don't think so.
No, it seems to be right where we were.
Yeah, just big on there. Oh, Shiva. There's a Sawa. Yeah, Osawa. Yeah, that makes sense. There you go. It always confuses me, those two. So yeah, that is Uehara to Eto, and that is from Eto to Osawa. How the system works, I don't know. I think it's because U comes before E.
Yeah.
And E comes before O. So.
Well, we'll have to check a phone book from Japan to be able to figure that out.
Yeah, but I mean, if you look at like a chart of hiragana,
oh yeah,
you can see the you can see what comes first. As you can see, A, I, U, E, O. Uehara is just from U, and then Eto, which is the last name, and then Osawa is the last one. Okay. So that's why it works like that.
So surprised there was only 5 listings for the name Osawa with addresses in Shoko. There was neither a Maria nor a Hitami, but he hadn't expected there to be. He'd need to find their parents. Wasting no time, he called up the first Osawa on the list. Bingo! Murakawa couldn't help but pump his fist in excitement. He'd gotten the right place in his first try. Way to go, me! He committed the house number listed in the phone book to memory. Commit this to memory.
Alright, yes, still has to eat the food.
Just then, the waitress reappeared with the disgruntled expression and Murakawa's order of spaghetti Napolitan. Here you are, sir.
That's a mountain of parmesan.
Yeah. Oh.
What is this? Are we at Mount Fuji? Is that why? Because that is how the rice looked when we had curry on Mount Fuji. It was a mountain like that.
Yeah.
And then the sauce like sprayed out like it was like it had erupted or something.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. Expensive but pretty cool, I think, considered.
The pasta was piled high with an impressive amount of grated cheese. It looked almost like a miniature mountain of snow. You did say lots of cheese, sir, the waitress told him. She set down the canister of cheese and a bottle of Tabasco.
Tabasco!
Yes.
A sauce made by the US-based McIlhenny? I think that's how it's that.
McElhenney, yeah.
Yeah, McIlhenny Company, consisting of hot packets, green vinegar, and rock salt. Known for its distinctive spiciness, it can make spaghetti and pizza quite tasty with the addition of just a few drops. Tabasco also goes pretty well with ramen and curry. It does. They have a lot of restaurants in Japan. They have Tabasco there. Recommended for times when flavor is lacking a little punch. However, even one drop may be too much for those who can't handle spicy things.
Not me.
No, I can also do it fine as long as it's not a whole bottle.
Oh, I can do the whole bottle.
I don't think your vowels will agree.
No, I'm gonna be in pain. Fucking so much pain, but I don't care.
That means your body can't take it!
I don't care. It tastes good.
It has been claimed that Tabasco was first imported to Japan by a certain well-known former pro wrestler. But this story is untrue. Alright. I don't know what former pro wrestler they're talking about.
Me neither.
I have only...
Hulk Hogan?
I don't know. I've only heard of a few Japanese pro wrestlers from Yakuza games, so that doesn't really say much, other than his actual voice was used and his actual model was there.
Yeah.
He was ginormous. I think it was from QV2,
I
could be
mean,
wrong.
wrestlers, some of them tend to be huge.
Yeah, he was very, very big.
Even like The Rock, he's not even that big when it comes to wrestlers.
No.
There are wrestlers that are way bigger than him.
Yeah. I mean, wrestlers tend to be in the bigger spectrum.
Yeah, but there are also small ones.
Yeah. They're just more nimble.
Yeah. Some that are even smaller than you are.
Yeah.
Which is fun.
Which doesn't say much, Ramona, because I am perfect average height.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the male ones, which means they're under.
Oh, damn! That's
Yeah.
small!
Yeah, exactly.
Alright, I thought you were just talking generally.
No, the male ones.
Oh, damn! Small boys.
Yeah.
Are they Asian?
Mexican.
I don't know the average height of a Mexican person. I only know Asian because I've been to so many Asian countries.
And it doesn't really say much about like it's not really a show of average height. They just happen to be popular.
Yeah. How it goes?
Yeah.
Oh. Enough about pro wrestlers in Tabasco.
It's a pro wrestler that just died.
Ways to kill the mood.
He wasn't even that old.
No, young people die all the time. That is the world we live in.
Yeah. Anyways. Oh, this looks good, Mirikawa exclaimed. He twirled some spaghetti up with his fork and shoved it into his mouth. The slightly sour sweetness of the ketchup blended perfectly with the mellow flavor of cheese.
Mellow flavor of cheese? That looked like Parmesan cheese. Whatever.
It's most likely a synthetic version.
But still!
Yeah.
Parmesan is not mellow. It's very sharp and
Yeah.
tangy.
Yeah.
Whatever. He spilled. How
Yeah.
dare he?
Yeah.
But yeah, with that bottle of cheese like that, that's synthetic cheese.
Oh, that is tasty. There was nothing like satisfying grub to lift the spirits. It has sausages in it, I saw.
Yeah, and
peppers?
a few bell peppers it looked like.
Yeah.
But that's not necessarily in like every Neapolitan. That's
No,
not
no,
a
no.
requirement for Neapolitan, but a lot of cafes do make it more appetizing by putting a little bit of there. And at least it's getting some meat as well.
Yeah.
That's what it's mostly missing, some protein.
Though I don't know how well Japan does sausages. That's a no.
That's terrible sausages.
Okay.
There's not enough salt in it. It tastes like nothing.
Oh. Cool.
They're
That's one
okay,
thing I'm gonna.
but the ones I've had are not great.
That's one thing I'm gonna miss.
Well, I don't know how the 7-Eleven like corn dogs, or as they call it, American dog.
Yeah.
For some reason they call it American dog in Japan. It's so funny. I don't know how those taste.
Because it's American.
I suppose.
He
You
turned
might
back
be
to.
able to get the good sausages. It's just the ones I've had.
Okay. I like myself some good sausages.
There's a lot of things you can get cheap. Like that! Very cheap in Japan.
Yeah. He turned back to his laptop, still wolfing down the spaghetti. Alright. We're back in action. Let's do this. Yet again, he unthinkingly blurted his words aloud as he slipped back into writing mode. I've got this. I've got this.
Poor waitress.
With ketchup smeared around his mouth, he set his fingers tapping away at the teeth. The waitress let out another groan of dismay.
Oh, Murakawa always has to solve their potential every single time.
This is a perfect moment. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Gotta save that.
Yeah. Murakawa glanced in her direction, but the waitress faked a smile. No, sir, I don't think so. Yeah, well, then go away. You're distracting me. The moment he looked away, she clenched her fist in indignation.
God damn you!
Nothing, sir. Good luck with your work, sir. I don't need luck. I've got this. Eyes jumping back and forth between pasta and computer, Murakawa got to work on his copy once more. Before long, he was oblivious to every sound in the cafe around him. Maybe do with some pasta.
Some spaghetti Napolitan?
No. No. Bolognese.
I'm more for carbonara, honestly.
Really?
Mm.
Oh. And why don't you move back, Christian?
You know, that's not the only reason I live with him. If it was that simple, yeah, I wanted to stay. It's not that simple. That's not that hard to make, Ramona.
No, I've just never made it.
No, it's not that hard.
It just takes a lot of cheese.
Yeah, it takes like half a parmesan.
Yeah, exactly. So that's generally why I don't make it, because it's expensive.
Yeah, but it's not like you're gonna make it every time.
No. But
yeah,
bolognese is cheap.
It's cheaper.
Especially if you use carrots and whatnot instead of meat.
Yeah, but you still need to get protein. So you gotta put something in there that has protein.
And put some beans in.
Or lentils.
I'm not much for lentils.
Ah.
They have
Lentils
a weird
are better in them than beans are in that kind.
They have a weird texture.
They do, but you get used to it.
I don't like it. When he snapped out of writing mode, he glanced at his watch. It was 2:20. Almost time for him to head to his next interview. Better get a move on.
Oh, she'll be so happy to see him gone now.
Kimisuka's taxi came by just as Murakawa was hurrying out of the cafe. Well, what a pleasant surprise, Murakawa called out. Nice timing, my man. Kimisuka's startled look quickly vanished behind an expression of professional resignation.
Ah, goddammit.
You did right, sir? You know it, Murakawa replied. First, head to Shoto. Shoto.
Shoto.
Shoto.
Sure thing. Be American about it, will you?
After that, I'll need to get to Sakura Gaoka.
Yes. Sakura Gaoka. Gaoka.
Gaoka.
Gouda cheese.
Gouda cheese. Gouda cheese.
What?
Gouda cheese.
Yeah, Gouda. Gouda. Isn't that how it's pronounced in English? Gouda?
Yeah, Gouda.
I'll be happy to inform all the English speakers that they're actually pronounced Gouda.
Yeah.
Our border is up against Germany, we know what we're talking about.
Yeah. Oh, man, I love cheese.
Yeah, too bad it's expensive as fuck.
That's because it takes a lot of work to make it.
Yeah. And time.
Mm. Yeah, especially like the thing that drives up the cost is the amount of hours they have to pay for the workers.
Yeah.
To be there, to look over the stuff.
Yeah.
They need to make sure that it's like the right temperature, everything is okay, they're not molding,
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Unless it's a blue cheese.
Unless,
Then it's supposed to be molding.
well, it still needs proper care.
Yeah,
'cause
it needs to
it
be
shouldn't
right.
just mold. It
No.
should be specific mold.
Yes, that's why you need to keep it at the peak temperature for said bacteria or put it into the cheese.
Yeah. So it's not just mold.
No, I know.
Still bad, but yeah.
I don't understand people who like blue cheese. Why would you want to eat literal bacteria? I don't understand.
Yogurt?
You're not eating literal bacteria.
You're not?
It's bacteria that naturally lives in milk.
Okay. So you're eating bacteria.
Well, with that kind of argument, yeah, you're eating bacteria even when you eat fucking meat.
Okay.
But with blue cheese, you are deliberately putting bacteria into a product. That's what I mean.
Yes.
Why would you choose to do that?
Something that's not naturally there.
Yeah. In yogurt, that bacteria is naturally there.
Yeah. Well,
I know that we tend to add more to make sure that it goes the right way today, but it's still naturally there.
Yeah. It was just that wasn't what you were arguing. You just said bacteria, so it's like
Literal bacteria is what I said.
so the other is not literal bacteria.
Well, you can't really see or feel it. You can in blue cheese. I've tried.
Okay. As the cast gaze out at the lights, Shibuya mulled over his plans for the next part of the day. First, he'd interview the Miss Miriyama girls. Then he'd meet with the head of that theater troupe. In order to leave him himself enough time to write his copy, that meant. I'd like to get this all wrapped up in 20 minutes, he said. Can you make that happen? Kimisuga flashed a grin. That will incur a special fare, sir. Oh, special, Mirikama said, as he got settled in his seat.
I love that word!
Kimisuga stepped on the gas. Step on the gas, step on the gas, step on the gas.
It's the same guy who had the taxi with him before, so
Yeah.
he's like, oh god, not again.
Yeah. Shibuya was a town of contrasts. It was a town of young people, unpretentious, energetic. The Scramble intersection and center guy perfectly conveyed that vibrancy. However, if one turned right at the 109 building and headed down Bunkamura Dori.
Bunkamura?
Yes, that's what it says, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I wasn't. Okay.
Bunka means like culture.
Okay.
Like historically.
Hmm.
Society culture. It's a bit of a hard word to translate, but you get what I mean, right?
Yeah. Okay.
And
So
Buddha usually means like town or village.
yeah. Culture Village Street.
Yeah. I mean, a lot
Great.
of villages are actually named something Buddha, so that's
Yeah.
why I don't know.
It probably was a village at some point, and now it's just a street.
Or it goes out to an
Or
area
yeah.
and all that. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? I mean, we also have that in Denmark. It's just like we have a road that goes to another town. Well, it's called that.
Yeah. And then we have like street names in multiple cities, same area name.
Oh
No
yeah.
connection to that area.
We can have like something called London Street, and it's
England Street.
England Street, SBS Street, like all kinds of names.
Fucking Fanø, Manø, and Rømø Street.
Yeah.
Every single big city has that. And it's like, they're islands. You're nowhere near the islands.
We have one nearby where we live called Vikingevej.
Yeah.
Viking Street.
Yep. Viking Street. We also have there's also a street called Ejby.
Yeah.
Ejby Street, which is a town on the island, but not in that direction.
No.
The other direction. So I don't know why it's called that.
No. The town's whole atmosphere changed.
I'm sorry. It's all your empty hill things that fell down.
Shoto was one of Shibuya's indeed one of Tokyo's most upscale residential districts. Wherever one looked, there was stately manor houses giving off an imposing air, sending the message that this was no place for the common folk. Right, here's fine. Morikawa directed Kimisuka to pull over. Wait here for me. I'll be right back. Hopping out of the taxi, he checked the nameplate of the nearby homes. Ah, here we go.
Osawa!
He spotted a nameplate that read Osawa. Kenji Osawa, The name nagged at him somehow. It had been in the back of his mind ever since he'd seen it in the phone book back at the cafe. Had he heard it someplace before? He walked up to the gate and pressed the button for the intercom. Even the little chime it made when pressed sounded elegant.
Is that why you pressed it?
Morikawa waited, but there was no response. He looked at his watch. It was 2:30 now. His interview with Shinosuke Orai of the Wandering Angels was supposed to have started already.
Wandering Angels, episode 3! Are you ready for the continuation? With help from Shin Chibando, Mondo was able to get out of his apartment. Then, when all the players had finally assembled, the troupe pursued with one last rehearsal before showtime. But again, tragedy struck. Mondo came down with food poisoning after eating his lunch. He was rushed to the hospital in an ambulance, and the Angels were once again lacking an actor for the key role of Shido. Owarai was on the verge of panic. Finally, however, he came up with a solution. Novice actor Takuya Amo, age 31, would take on the part. Continued in episode 4. They have some fucking drama going on over there at the troupe.
Still, he wanted to meet with the twins first if it was possible. He had to make a choice. He decided to wait a little bit longer. He decided to give up and head to his...
Oh no, we're gonna stay.
Decided to wait a little bit longer. Just a few more minutes. Suddenly, a man's voice came through the intercom. Yes? Who is it? He sounded rather guarded. It's Mirikawa.
That's so ridiculous.
Where might I know you from, Mr. Mirikawa? Oh, you know, here and there. I mean, there's only one Mirikawa, really. Are you playing games with me? I don't have time for that. Please, just open up. There's no way I'm letting you in. This discussion was getting nowhere. Mirikawa decided he'd have to take the direct approach. Look, just hold your horses. I'm here for an interview. You got that? An interview? He'd taken the bait. Most folks could hardly resist the word interview. That's right. It's a piece of 4-star general gossip. Wait, this is for one of those kinds of articles? The man sounded angry now. What do you mean, those kinds of articles? I'm just looking for an interview. Like hell you are. I'm not talking to anyone from the Gust. You're not the one I'm here to talk to. I want to interview your twin daughters. My daughters? No parent would deny their children a chance for word of their achievements to spread. I understand they won a shared prize for a beauty contest at Miriyama Academy. If you wouldn't mind my interviewing them, the intercom cut out before Mirikawa could finish. Hey, what gives? I'm begging you out here. On my hands and knees. He wasn't actually on his hands and knees, but whoever was on the other end couldn't see that.
Oh, they could, as a matter of fact.
If your daughters aren't home, can you at least tell them I want to get in touch with them? He wasn't even using the intercom now, he was just shouting over the gate. A man stepped out of the front door. Give me a business card, he said. I'll have them get in touch with you later. The man had a somewhat stricken look on his face. This had to be Kenji Ozawa. Then, wait, hold on. Ozawa? Now Mirikawa recognized him. This was Kenji Ozawa, the preeminent virologist who worked for Okoshi Pharmaceutical. Forsyth General Gossip had run a scandalous article on him in the past. Mirikawa remembered reading it. He held out his business card and Ozawa snatched it from him. The virologist started to head back into his house. Please see that they get back to me, Mr. Ozawa, Mirikawa shouted after him. And then he noticed something odd. It was the middle of the afternoon, but every window in the house had its curtains drawn. That combined with Ozawa's demeanor set off alarm bells in Mirikawa's head. He knew he was on to something, but he couldn't linger at the Ozawa residence any longer than he had already had. He needed to get into that theater ASAP. He hurried back to the taxi and told Kimisuka to go.
Onwards!
A few minutes later, the rear tires skidded sharply as the cab came to a stop beside a different curb. The trip from Shoto to the theater had taken almost no time at all.
You just skipped the word entirely!
The theater in Sakura Gaoka had taken almost no time at all. Here we are, sir, Kimisuka announced. Wow, that was fast. Still, Mirikawa was at least 5 minutes behind schedule. He hoped he'd still be able to get the interview with those What I?
Keep up, bitch!
Well, I suppose that's good. That's just up.
A good place to end things here for now.
Today.
Yes.
So.
Cool. Almost done with this time slot.
Yeah, almost. So we probably need to jump from
yeah, also again, because there's a new jump point before, so I assume.
Okay.
Yeah?
Well, we will see you guys next time, which will be on Saturday. So do be there. And if you're missing some of our streams, check out our VODs on YouTube at Personal A Space, the same name as our channel here on Twitch. So it should be fairly easy to find. We have all the streams up there except for the first one.
That is lost to the void, I'm sorry.
Yeah. So you can catch up there. And we're also running a separate series there, a pre-recorded series, which we will be going down to just one episode a week because it is a bit too much work right now to do 2 episodes a week. But hopefully
By
we'll
what
get
she
back.
means is mental problems.
Yeah, too much work. So, anyways, we'll see you guys next time.
Yeah.
Bye!
Bye!